Welcome back to Go High Level in 10. One Go High Level feature every single day in 10 minutes or less. I'm Jonathan with Elite Web Systems. If you're just finding this series, start from episode 1. The link is in the description. Every episode builds on the last one. Today is episode 3 and we're setting up a sales pipeline from scratch. So here's the honest truth about why most agency owners and most local business owners lose clients that they should have closed. It's not the price, it's not the pitch, and it's not the competition. It's because they have no system tracking every single lead and where it's at in the buying process. Someone reaches out, they get a call, they say, let me think about it, and then they just disappear. Not because they weren't interested, because nobody followed up, because nobody knew that they were supposed to. A pipeline fixes that. A pipeline is a visual board that shows exactly where every lead is at every stage in the sales process. Who's new, who's been contacted, who's got a proposal, who's closed, and then who's lost. When you can see every single deal on your screen, nothing falls through the cracks ever. So let's build this out right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to opportunities. This is where your pipeline and CRM lives. As you can see, we have nothing set up. We're going to click pipelines. We're going to create a new pipeline. This is where we're going to name it and we're going to create our stages. And for this video, I'm going to be naming it Web Agency Sales Pipeline. So set pipeline display colors. You can set a color for every stage that the lead is at. If you have a new lead, you can set the color to blue. If you have them contacted, you can set it to gold. Proposal sent, you can set it to purple, and when you close them, you can set it to green. You can set it to money green. So these are the basic stages: new lead, contacted, your proposal was sent, and then you close them. So what we could do, we could change these names so we understand. You don't have to say proposal sent. You could also change it to quoted. You sent them a quote or an estimate already. And then we got closed, and we can add one more, and it's going to be lost because not everybody will sign up. So we'll just go through these stages one by one. So here we are, we have our 5 stages. We can hit create, and now we have our pipeline. Here it is. It says Web Agency Sales Pipeline. We can go over to opportunities, and here we have it. We have each stage from left to right. There's different columns where you could drag your contacts through this sales pipeline. We have our new lead, contacted, quoted, closed, and lost. So now what we can do is we have to add an opportunity. There's different ways to add a contact through here. Once they're created, you can go into your contacts. You hit your contact here. Here's our contact. We click on the name. So what we can do is we go to opportunities, we go to create new, and here's his contact details. We look for the pipeline here, and we select our web agency sales pipeline. What stage are we going to put this lead in? We're going to put them, of course, in the first stage. The status is opened. The value, let's put the value at, we are trying to sell him a $297 package deal. Owner, business, source, website lead, we're good. We hit create. Now let's head back over to our opportunities. Let's go back to the pipeline. So here we are. We have our contact on this first stage. It's stage 1, new lead. This is where every new prospect starts the moment they come in. Fresh, untouched, needs a first contact. Stage 2 is going to mean that they've been contacted already. They've been reached out to, a call, a DM, an email. We've made contact, but nothing is decided yet. Then we go over here to stage 3, which is quoted. So we've had a conversation, we've sent a proposal, or we've given them the price. The ball is in their court now. We drag it over to closed. They said yes. They paid, they're a client. This is the stage where everyone wants to fill. And last, of course, we have lost. They said no, or they went with somebody else. And before you skip this stage, let me tell you why it matters. Lost leads are a gold mine. In 30, 60, 90 days from now, you're going to come back and re-engage every single person in this column. Circumstances change, budgets change. A competitor that they hired lets them down. Lost does not mean gone forever. Now we're going to go back to the first stage, and we're going to explain why pipelines are so important and how they go hand in hand with your workflow automations, what we just went over in the last episode. So here's how a pipeline gets really powerful. Your pipeline isn't just a visual board, it's a trigger for automation. So remember in episode 2, to where we build workflows. You can set a workflow to fire every time a card moves to every specific stage. For example, the moment a lead moves to quoted, I can trigger an automatic follow-up text that says, hey, just wanted to make sure you received our proposal. Happy to answer any questions. The moment a lead moves to closed, I can trigger an onboarding email sequence. The moment a lead sits in contacted for more than 48 hours with no activity, I can trigger a reminder task for me to follow up. So your pipeline and your workflows, they work together. That combination is what makes GoHighLevel so powerful for agencies. So here's the first thing that I want you guys to remember. So most agency owners keep their pipeline in their head or in a spreadsheet or on a notes app, and that works fine until you have more than 5 clients. Then it falls apart. A pipeline in GoHighLevel means every lead is accounted for, every deal is a stage, every follow-up is a trigger. Nothing lives in your head anymore. And the second thing, the lost column is not a graveyard. Set a 30-day re-engagement automation that triggers every time a card moves to lost. So send them a simple text 30 days later, something new like, hey, just checking in, wanted to see if anything changed on your end. Half the time these messages get a reply because their situation changed, their budget freed up, the person they hired disappointed them. That one automation has closed more deals for me than cold outreach ever has. And the third thing, this is specifically for agency owners building this for clients. Every client on your board needs a pipeline on day one, before the website, before the chatbot, before anything else. Because if a lead comes in day one and there's no pipeline to drop them into, that lead's invisible. You can't track it, you can't report on it, you can't prove your value to the client. So pipeline first, always. It's the backbone to everything that you build out inside GoHighLevel. A quick pro tip before I wrap this up. The first thing you can always do is add a dollar amount to your contact. So you can click here, add the dollar amount. This is where you're going to keep track of all your pipeline, how much money is coming in, how much money you've lost pretty much, or you left on the table, and it translates over here to your dashboard. So it's going to show over here on your dashboard. It's going to show your opportunities. This is how you'll be able to show your client that this platform is actually working for them. It's keeping track. This is how you'll be able to send him reports, analytics. You'll be able to prove to them, hey, this system does work. Your leads are coming in. They're going through the pipeline. They're going through automations, and you're closing deals. This is where you'll be able to see everything going on. And then second, what you can do is you can add a close date to every single deal. So that way it creates urgency internally, and it helps you prioritize who to follow up with first. You can do this. You can simply add a task or add a note in there. A note, close date. You can say close date, put 5 days from now or 3 days from now. 5/22. You can just add a note in there so you can keep track, and it creates some urgency for you. You have your note in there like, by this date I have to follow up with him, or by this date he said he'd reach out to me. Just add some notes in there. And the third, you can have multiple pipelines. You can set one up for a new client acquisition, and then you can set up another one for upsells and retention. So you can keep them separate so you can analyze the data later. So a quick recap of the 3 things that are most important about a pipeline. 1, you have 5 stages: new lead, contacted, quoted, closed, and then lost. So start there every single time. Number 2, connect your pipeline stages to a workflow automation. So the follow-up happens automatically whenever a card is moved to each stage. And then 3, the lost column here, it's future revenue. Set a 30-day re-engagement automation and watch closed deals come back to life. If this helped you at all, hit that like button and subscribe. Tomorrow on GHL in 10, episode 4, we're going to be setting up an AI chatbot. I'll show you how to configure it for local businesses in less than 10 minutes. I'll see you then.